And yeah, it's not going to come at you with some omega energy. Almost did not come at you with some omega energy this week. Why? I think a lot of folks know that it is eclipse season and full moon energy and all that. I'm gonna share something with y'all. A few things really, if you want to be so inclined to listen and understand. One, eclipse season for people who are tapped in. And by tapped in, it don't exclude anybody. Anybody at any time can choose to tap in at any moment. I know a lot of people like to throw around the word chosen. I have been guilty of it myself until I understood it better. With each level of spiritual divinity, whatever that looks like for you, you're going to learn that some of the stuff you had to learn on that level changes on the next level, okay? So that's neither here nor there, but that's a fact and a known understanding by those who have jumped the levels. And not jump by like skipping it. You still have to learn the things, right? But when you tapped in, every time there's a full moon, it affects everybody collective. Whether you tapped in or not, it affects everybody in the collective. However, those who were tapped in, those who chose to learn the esoteric knowledge that feeds the spiritual self, which means the energy that innervates this body and gives it more of something, that spark of magic that makes us all blink eyes and walk around and feel things within this flesh suit. Those folks, myself included, we tend to get either so energetic, like we've had several cups of espresso all at the same time, or mainlined it or something, or we get completely wiped out, in which we're just tired, just flat out tired. It's the kind of tired that you can't sleep through. I don't care how much sleep you get, if you're able to sleep. That's another thing. It's like you can be as tired can be, like as if you've ran a marathon or two and still be not able to sleep more than 2 or 3 little winks. Because you're also as tired as you are, as energetic as you are. It's a thing. It's not. It's something you just know it's going to happen. You get used to it a little bit, but you never really super look forward to it. It's kind of like that. When it's eclipse season, which it is right now, those energies are heightened. Okay. Myself, I feel it every single cycle. Some people only feel it when they have major transits in their chart that's being highlighted by that full moon energy. And that's crossbow for most people. But that's just a thing I'm explaining to you, just so you can know why I almost didn't come in here today. And how you can know, well, as you're learning from me and other people, you might be experiencing some of that too, and it's okay to give yourself a little break. I played hooky this morning from a lot of my work, so I'm not going to give myself that break. But the energy is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger as the week goes on. And if you want to know where you're going to probably have some sudden shifts within your personal dynamic from an astrological perspective, but I'm also talk to you from a psychological perspective too later on. Just put a pin in it. But from an astrological perspective, if you want to know what's going to go down for you, we've talked about it before. This full moon is meant to be in Scorpio. Okay? It's during Taurus season. Just so you can know moving forward, those of you who are beginners, whatever zodiac sign the sun is in, that full moon for that month is going to be in the opposite sign. It's always going to be that way forever and ever. Amen. Okay? So you can always know equal opposites are pulling on each other in that time. This is why we can call that one of your portals. Now, there's different types of portals of energy. And portals just mean a gateway or a doorway or something being formed that wasn't previously there or that isn't always there and present, okay? So equal opposites are pulling on each other during the full moon. This is one of the reasons why that energy is kind of confusing to the masses. Why we have more people going into labor early or going into labor at all, or a little bit more people losing their crap and people having emotional energy, whether it be heightened emotion, but they can have a tendency to be a bit more brash or a bit more out of it, whatever the case may be. You might also have heightened violence because people are in their bag and their feelings Necessary full moon, not just during this time period, which some people call the apocalypse and some people call, just a shift between eras and ages, and some people call this and some people call that. It's not the end of the world, literally. It's just the end of the world the way it used to be, because obviously the world, the way it was pre 2020. 2019 ended how the world was, so in essence, it ended what was. We're in a new state of being now, all of us. These full moons are full mooning a lot harder. Those who are alive at this time, who were alive pre-2020, because this is the beginning of a new era and age. And there's some people who disagree with me on that. But you know about that. These are all assessments based on their information, and I'm doing an assessment based on my information and my intuition and what my folks tell me. Now, I do lean on my folks, and when I say my folks, I mean the people that reach me in dream states and meditation and what we perceive in a spiritual group. I have a hard time calling it community anymore, y'all. I'm telling you right now. Because I haven't been fully welcomed into it, embraced in any way. Not that I was looking to be. I like being in the cut, pretending not to be me, and just watching and supporting and clapping for folk. Now, when I say that, I mean folk who are not causing hurt, harm to people in general, and genuinely want to help the collective evolve. Now, I'm going to digress. This one I'm going to give myself permission for. Mercury retrograde, be retrograding. Not that this bothers me the way it used to, but it's something that I think should be made plain and clear. Because it's coming, that too is going to come to an end here shortly. At least that's my intuition tells me. And my folks. Myself, I'm not alone. I think it's apparent there's so many people out there who's either reading tarot, reading astrology, teaching spirituality in different facets and forms, demystifying Ifa, African traditions, Caribbean traditions, things that were demonized and, misrepresented for years. Awesome, okay? But that doesn't mean they're not still people. They're still people. And they still can choose whether to use that in a vibration, or they can be ignorant and think they're helping when they're really not. I've seen that too. But we all are responsible for what we're saying and what we're doing. I had to learn my own way, just like they had to learn their own way. Now, there's a difference between somebody who don't know no better and doing it, thinking they're doing the right thing, and someone who fully knows what they're doing is harmful and does it anyway because they can. Now, I'm not religious. Y'all already know this. If you've been watching me for a while, you already know this. But it doesn't mean the legends, stories, mythologies, anthologies, and analogies that are in differing religions around the world don't give some essence of education that you can draw from, even if you look at it as just a story. But the way I see that is, those who got the gifts in different various ways and choose to do things that they know damn well long term is going to be harmful to them folk out there, I see them no different than I saw the fallen in the religious Abrahamic religions. Okay? Their choices was to come and dominate, subjugate. Their job was to come and educate, so that those people can evolve. It wasn't incumbent upon them to come here and be superstars and rock stars to them and be praised and worshipped. Their job was to serve man at the time. Educate them so that they can know more and, maybe be a little bit cleaner, kinder to each other, give them tools and ways to live so that they don't die or render themselves completely moot as a civilization. Because they were headed that way, they needed some guidance. And it was time for them to evolve. But what the fallen did, and they call them the fallen, y'all can look that up for yourself, was they came here and realized that they were being worshipped and they've been given everything they wanted to ever have, and these people looked at them as deities, and And it's like, yeah, worship us or we'll kill you. Worship us and we'll give you presents and gifts and all these things. And they've mostly kept their word. But what they also did was, like, according to the text and according to the legends and the stories, assault the women. And a lot of those women became pregnant, and that's where the giants came from. This is what the legend says. The thing is, the moral of the story was beings that were sent to help and aid and assist actually took over and decided this place belonged to them. When, yeah, you're stronger, you're smarter, you're wiser, you got powers, all these things. But it was never your job to be their ruler, or to take from them, or to make them worship you, or any of the things that some of y'all are out here doing, and it's apparent. And that's how I see them. So no, I won't be cheering for them. I won't be associated with them in any way. And I've talked about these types of people. These are the people that are, causing mental illness in the population via divination, whether it be tarot, astrology, spell work, curses, hexes, all these things. It's okay to teach some of this stuff, but understanding that first you teach a person to love themselves and love the world and all things in it, while understanding they need to protect themselves, love themselves. You do shadow work, okay? These are levels, and I know I digress, but I'm allowing myself this one because I've run into this enough time. I'm sorry, y'all. Whenever I get a little message from one of my babies, I'm going to look that I know what I know. And I used to get real kind of like in my bag, what the kids call it a bag, in my feelings. Because a lot of people in the spiritual communities across the board didn't really care for my brand of understanding and knowledge too much, or the way I presented it. And what I come to understand and know is some of them are ignorant, don't know no different, and then just follow the leaders that tell them what to do. And I don't fault them none. But some of them know damn well better. And then to me, at this particular juncture, they're no different than the myths of the fallen or the legends of the fallen. Make me know, never mind. I refuse to be like them. Even if one person sees this or 1,000, I don't care. All I know is you're going to learn something about you when I speak. You're going to learn something about the world when I speak. My intention will never be to cause you harm. Okay? I think about the long-term ramifications. And again, if you ever want to learn basic tarot so you can read for yourself without it being an emotional distressing situation, I have some how-to videos in the beginnings. Just got to scroll down and look at the earlier videos that I've posted a while back. But I don't read tarot on here for that very reason. I ingratiate myself before I decide that I want to be in any way critical of something, whether it be a practice, a person, circumstances, anything. I immerse myself in it. If I'm going to have an opinion, I must first experience it. And I've experienced it all. And enough has been seen by me in my assessment to know that there needs to be a point of order. And if it's just little on me and a few others, then the point of order will be reached. Even if I got to fight them all by myself. And by fight, I don't mean fist fight, because I still think I got them. But I mean, I will fight with the truth. I will give you the knowledge. I will also help you with the psychology of it too. That's what I meant earlier when I said we're going to tap in a little bit of the psychology. The psychology, I think psychology in general dismisses all things divination because it's called divination, but also too dismisses only all things divination when it's not associated with Abrahamic religions, because I got my counseling degree from a school that was Catholic. So there's no separation of church and state as the reason. So we got to just throw it to the side. If we can educate a counselor, psychologist, etc. at a religious organized school, we can also include adaptations to astrology because it doesn't hurt anybody. We can actually see and do a trial and error, which I would love to do. if astrology could, if counseling, psychology, etc., when it comes to the clinical application of it, could be an asset. I know it can be. Personally, absolutely. Factual to me. But I'm only one person, so one person does not make a study. Okay. But there is practical applications that can be applied. If you can use Myers-Briggs, you can use astrology because they are not dissimilar. I honestly, personally think that astrology is a bit, this is my opinion though, and that can be subjective. I think astrology is a bit more personal as well as accurate than a Myers-Briggs. But that's my little take on it. Anyway, I digressed a lot. Just to let y'all know that the full moon is coming up and it's a lot of energy coming through here. I know I've said that before. Oh, my nose. Excuse me one moment. I know I've said that before, but honey, expect a whole bunch. And this is not me just like constantly taking. I'm going to do a second video follow-up to this because it's getting a bit long. And I don't want to bore y'all. And the attention spans are getting shorter and shorter out there nowadays. And I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't trying to compete with that. I'm not going to. I don't need to. Anyway, y'all loved.